Hello, how are you? My name's Gemma and welcome to my Devon Diary. Just over a year ago, my husband and I took a massive gamble in moving our entire lives down to Devon on the southwest coast of England. We left everything behind, bought a house we hadn't even seen, and started setting up what we hoped would be our dream family life together. A year on, we found our feet, got settled in, and I would like to take you along for the journey, sharing all the things I make, bake, create, and exploring all that Devon has to offer along the way. Well, hello and welcome back. I'm really pleased to have you here again. If you're a new viewer, you're very, very welcome. Returning viewer, lovely to see you. It's been interesting seeing the same sorts of numbers coming back and new subscribers and things. So do leave yourself a comment in the comments. I would absolutely love to get to know you guys a little bit more as well. And what do you enjoy? Do you like baking, making, walks in the countryside? I would just love to get to know you all a little bit better, so do feel free to introduce yourselves in the comments or leave any comments or thoughts about the video as well. Now, I know I only uploaded a video at about 10 to midnight yesterday, Sunday the 27th of October, and today is Monday the 28th of October. However, it's going to be a really busy week here. It's school half term, so the preschool is closed. Robin is off of preschool, I'm off of work, which is the preschool, and yeah, we are busy preparing for his 3rd birthday, which is coming up middle of next week. But this week we've got Halloween, and it's also Robin's first proper party. It's not fair. He had a lovely little tea party for his 1st birthday, and we had a bonfire buffet party thing here for his 2nd birthday. But this is his first, him choosing which little friends he wants to come to celebrate, and we're actually going out somewhere, so it's the first in that sense. So I am up to my eyeballs in preparing for his party as well, so it's going to be a really busy week. So yeah, before all the madness ensues, and we're already on day 3 of half term, because obviously I count the weekend, I thought I would take the opportunity of Robin having a little afternoon nap for me to write my diary entry with you and have a little chat. So I'm going to start Saturday. We had our 2nd annual trip to a pumpkin patch. We started this last year. My husband used to lecture at a college in Kent, and one of his fellow lecturers, who he got on very well with, moved with her husband down to Devon not too long before us. I think maybe possibly a year before us, and actually lives about an hour away. So remarkably close considering where we've all come from. And last year we hadn't been here very long, and we decided to meet up and take our boys pumpkin picking because their son is about 8 months older than Robin. There's not an awful lot in it. So yeah, and they had a wonderful time, and so we suggested we did it again this year, and that's what we did. On Saturday we headed off to Exeter Pumpkins. The boys had so much fun. Our husbands managed to just about fold themselves into the barrels for a barrel ride, because obviously couldn't send the children on their own. And while that was happening, my friend and I went off for coffee. Right, coffee. The bouncy castles, we were really lucky. It's meant to be a set price for a certain number of minutes, but because we were almost the only ones there at that point, we were told that no one would be watching the clock at that point until it got really busy, and then obviously they kick the timings in to make it fair to everybody. And actually we left the bouncers before many more people arrived anyway, but they had such a wonderful time, got completely soaked because of course there's water in the bouncy castles. My son had his sights set on the big bouncy castle slide, and I am terrified of heights, but I did it.
Are you ready? Steady!
And then he went up on his own, and that just blew my mind that he's old enough now to be doing this sort of thing on his own without needing us with him. It's exciting, but also a little bit scary, and not sad. It's not sad at all. I'll never ever be sad that we get to see him grow up. That's remarkable. It's a remarkable privilege. Um, but yeah, there was a little bit of a pang of something. I've not quite identified the thought yet, but yeah. So there was a miniature railway, and of course, my son made a beeline for that. And then we went to the pumpkin patch itself, which was lovely. It's in a big field on a hill, which means the terrain is really interesting. They'd pre-cut the pumpkins from the vines, which made life a little bit easier for us. There are so many different varieties. The family plant the pumpkins in about June, and so they're ready for now when people are going pumpkin picking. It was free entry, which was just brilliant. And yeah, the boys particularly like the wheelbarrows that we went to collect the pumpkins in, because the wheelbarrow station is kind of almost as you go in. It's not quite at the entrance, but it's about halfway, I suppose, between the entrance and the actual pumpkin patch, because you also pay at a kiosk for your pumpkins. They've got pictures of pumpkins, and you plonk your pumpkin on the picture. Whichever pumpkin picture it fits the best on is the price you pay. And again, the prices for the pumpkins were really good as well. So the boys were so excited and wanted to get into these wheelbarrows, but they were quite wet. So my husband went to get a towel, and I was talking to my friend and helping her little one. And suddenly I turned around because behind me, unassisted and unapproved, Robin had climbed into a wheelbarrow all by himself and looked very, very pleased with himself. So my husband returned with the towel. I was like, well, that ship sailed, love.
I did it all by myself in the wheelbarrow.
You did do it all by yourself in the wheelbarrow. Are you feeling clever? Cheese.
So yeah, and then my friend's husband and I got a little bit childish and had a bit of a wheelbarrow race. Yeah. So that was an absolutely lovely afternoon, and while we were out, my father-in-law actually came round to build the base of what will be our shed eventually. We're going to have a shed. We've been looking for a shed since we moved in. At the moment, all of our gardening equipment, tools, everything that should be in a shed is currently stored in our downstairs shower room. We've got a downstairs toilet wet room, and it's very tiny, but it's remarkably functional, and it's very thoughtfully tiled in a pinkish red tile, which is great because there's pinkish red mud here where we are in Devon, and so when we come in from walks and just need to hose children and dogs and things down, it will be perfect. But at the moment, it's our not a shed. And for my husband's birthday, my mother and father-in-law said that they had decided to build a base for a shed so that when the right one comes up on Marketplace or on sale somewhere, we'll be able to just go ahead, get it, and put it in place, not have to worry about building a base. So yeah, that was all pretty much done when we got back. I absolutely love the smell of sawn wood. My granddad was a chippy. I mean, he was a maths teacher. He played football for Shoebury Town. But he was also a chippy, which is a carpenter, not a chip shop owner or server, flipper, whatever you want to call it. And I do remember that his garage always smelt of wood, and it was just such a wonderful smell. There's nothing like it. And to come home and have my garden smelling like that, because Papa is very talented in that department. He builds and does all sorts of things, was just marvellous. And I made sure that Robin took a big sniff and made sure he was soaking it in as well. I'm tearing up a bit. Miss Grandad. How old am I now? It's got to have been it's almost 20 years since he passed away. I can't believe that. But yeah, he was a remarkable man. Oof, look at me, getting nostalgic. So on Sunday, daylight savings time kicked in here, and it's spring forward, so clocks go forward, you get an hour less in bed, and fall back. So it's ostensibly you get an hour longer in bed, and it's lighter by the time you get up. However, toddlers don't work on daylight savings, and this particular toddler decided to get up earlier than usual. So it was about 4:30 old money I was up. And yeah, so we packed a lot in. We started with a film. I think we watched Frozen. What did we watch? 2 films. I think we might have even watched 2 films. Then he decided he wanted to have some Batman gingerbread biscuits. And I had actually finished the dough that we'd done. What had happened is the dough that we had left over from last time that was in the wax wrap, about midway through the week, so about 3 or 4 days, I rolled it out with Robin and we made Batman gingerbread biscuits. And we took them to the pumpkin patch with us to share with our friends, and I'd left the box in the car. Robin announced he wanted Batman biscuits. I couldn't be bothered to get out of my pajamas and walk to the car, so instead I made more gingerbread dough, because that's just logical. That's just how I work. So I made all the dough, got all that done, and then I called Alan and Robin through to actually make the biscuits.
Roll all the way forward. Whoa, right, that bit's very thin now, Daddy.
That's it. Who is it?
Batman. No. Batman.
Robin push. No, son.
Told you got to be fast. He's going to eat it all, otherwise.
Right. Do a big push and a wiggle. Push all the way down and
That's
there
it.
you go.
Well
It's
done.
Batman.
Onto the tray. There.
It's good. It's really good. And it was such a lovely morning, and it was so early and such nice weather. I thought, do you know what? We're all up. We need to get to the beach. Let's go. The beaches are all now dog friendly where we are. It's end of September. They all become dog friendly again. There are a couple that are dog friendly all year round, but not many. And so we piled into the car, and before 9 o'clock, we were at the beach.
Robin, do you like the...
Only a carrot.
It's a carriage, that's right.
Maybe a couple back onto the sleigh.
It doesn't need a train. It's a very special sort of railway. The engine bit's elsewhere, pulling us up.
This is Oddicombe Beach, which is at one end of the Babbacombe Downs, and the downs themselves are 300 feet above sea level, and on a clear day, like that day, you can see for up to 30 miles in panoramic views. It is my absolute most favourite place in the whole wide world, and I always feel so calm and happy when we're there. I couldn't believe that we live close enough to get there every single day. However, being 300 feet above sea level means it's a jolly long way down to get to the beach. I shared a picture of my knitting on the beach yesterday. My friend Debbie said, "Is the sand really that colour?" And yes, it really is. The cliffs are red. The mud here is red. Magnus, when he gets muddy, he comes home. He doesn't look white, he looks pink because of the quality of the mud and the cliffs. It's mostly clay based, I want to say, being that colour, but I'd love to know more about it. I'm going to have to look into it. So I've added some pictures and footage of the cliffs, and you can see what is going on here. You can also see the landslide. Unfortunately, coastal erosion is happening and the cliffs are gradually falling down into the sea, including, very sadly, some houses going with them. So you will have seen in that little clip that I was knitting, because never not knitting, and this is the progress I am making on the Christmas sock that I'd started last weekend. I honestly haven't really touched it during the week. This has all been this weekend now. Look at those colours, they're so vibrant. So this is Pheasant from West Yorkshire Spinners. I think it's actually one of my favourites. I love the grey flecky bits in the middle of those bands of solid stripe as well. I'm not really making much during the week because I'm so tired. The toddlers and preschoolers that I work with are amazing, but I'm tired in a whole new way. I've got aches in places I didn't know I could ache. My brain is completely fried by the time I get home and have put Robin to bed, because your mind's just so full of wonder at these young people, and you never know what they're going to say. It's hilarious. One of them actually said to me, and it was lovely, said to me, "You're the best auntie in the whole world and I love you." And I was just like... They don't call us auntie, of course. They call us by our names, but it's a cultural thing with this particular child, and it was just wonderful. Really got to me. But you never know. One moment you're going to be doing someone's hair because their hair tie's fallen out. Another moment you're a dinosaur. Another moment you're going on we went on a pumpkin hunt this week, and then the children decided to make up their own story, went on a skeleton hunt. So your brain is doing so many mental gymnastics, and your eyes are everywhere at all times, helping to look after these children. That it's a new kind of tired, and it's just wonderful. It's such a privilege to be part of their young lives and to spend so much time with them. I'm very, very lucky. So for that reason, I'm not really making too much during the week, but I'm hoping that as I get into the swing of things, I will start to do a bit better. But anyway, I have almost finished the heel flap and about ready for the heel turn on these socks. And talking about socks, I've also started a new pair. So it is Jude's birthday this weekend. He's been the grand old age of 33 or 34. And I've had this yarn to make him boot socks for quite a while. It's Regia 6-ply tweed. It's a really lovely tweedy yarn. And I've 150 gram ball, so it's quite sizable. And I thought I would make him some boot socks. However, I'm only just starting them because I found the yarn but lost the needles, then found some needles but lost the yarn, and then yesterday I managed to find the needles and the yarn to go with it. I have no idea where my 3.5 normal needles have gone, my circulars, but what I do have is what I'm calling demon sticks, which are double pointed needles. I don't know why I've started knitting, because it's not as easy as knitting on circulars and talking to you. But yeah, you can see they are everywhere. Now, if I thought knitting in black yarn was true love when I was knitting my husband's Christmas socks in the summer, this is right up there with it. I mean, I don't knit on demon sticks for anybody, but for Jude, I am. Because I want him to have the socks. I have already got a pair of socks I completed for him earlier in the year and have stashed away ready for his birthday. Really, I shouldn't have told him about these, and they could have been for Christmas, shouldn't I? I really haven't thought that through at all. But yes, so so yeah, I'm regretting that and questioning my life choices slightly there, but there we are. But there we go. There's my 4 needles with my, where shall I hold it? Don't know. But there's my 4 needles with the start of my sock on them. Yeah. And there's my 5th. I'm doing a 3, can't do this. I'm doing a 3x1 rib, which isn't showing up at all at the moment. I'm not entirely sure it will, but hopefully it'll be okay. I'm wondering if I should have done 1x1 for the cuff. And he's almost definitely not going to get these for his birthday now. It'll have to be a Christmas present after all that, but there we are. I found them. That's been my knitting so far this week. And I texted him and it was something about his birthday, and he said, oh, it's a non-event really for me because of circumstances. I said, well, don't forget how much you're loved, and if you're ever in any doubt of how much you're loved, look what I'm knitting on. I said to him, I don't do demon sticks for just anyone, you know. So yeah, anyway, hopefully he'll be stomping around his Highland cottage in these thick boot socks before too much longer. We shall see. Honestly, I'm very, very close to just buying some more 3.5mm circulars because this might take me until his 38th birthday on these double points. I really don't know. The only other thing that I've done that I'm quite proud of that is worthy of going in my diary is in the kitchen last weekend. I made flaky pastry. I haven't done this since high school, since home economics classes, but I made the flaky pastry. Now, flaky pastry is a little bit of a faff because you start the pastry in the normal sort of way, but with not as much of the fat as you would usually use, and then you roll it out really, really long and thin and dot little bits of the fat over the pastry, over the top 2/3 of the pastry. Then you fold it on itself, seal the sides, leave it, roll it out again and repeat. So you've got to do this 2 or 3 times. So to actually make the pastry itself, the raw pastry, before you get ready to cook it, you're already looking at 40 odd minutes to an hour of work. And then you've got to cook it. So dinner was a little bit late, but I made a carrot and feta strudel with it, and it worked really well. It tasted really, really good. I'm so chuffed with it. I think what I would do next time is I'd possibly blind bake the pastry base a little bit, maybe do it in pieces and then crimp. I need to look into it because I feel like the bottom could have been better cooked. It wasn't raw, but it wasn't great. But the lamination on the top bit was really good. And I said to my husband, goodness, I haven't done this since high school, thinking, oh, isn't that a while ago? And then it hit me that it's almost 1/4 century since I did that particular class, almost 25 years. Because I'm 37 and I think I was 13 when I did it. So next year, it'll be 25 years since I did that particular class. It baffles me. I don't feel old. I mean, I'm not worried about age or anything like that. But in my head, I still feel kind of how I did when I was about 20, maybe. And obviously that's 18 years ago, nearly 18 years ago. But it absolutely blew my mind that I'm old enough to have real meaningful lived experiences 1/4 century ago, and how it could be 25 years since I was making this pastry in school. So that was humbling, shall we say. Oh, I've got something very, very special to share with you, and then it's time for me to go. Okay, I'm just going to share this with you, and then I'll share what I'm up to this week so you can brace yourself for a bumper episode next week. Having said that this would be shorter, I'm already at 23 minutes, so I think it's going to be normal size. So this lovely box arrived. As you can see, it's a Toft box, but it is not from Toft. It is a reused, repurposed, recycled box from the... Woo, nearly knocked my tea over. Let's put that back up there. That was the cat last week. It's me this week. So from the very, very lovely Maddie, who is the House of Langford, I knew exactly what it was. This arrived on Saturday and we're at the pumpkin patch, but as soon as it arrived, I knew what it was because A, the Toft box, and B, the stickers. And I opened it up. Oops. And here we have a lovely card and some stickers, little pumpkin stickers. And these Are you ready for the cuteness? These little darlings are mini boos that have been lovingly crocheted as party favours for Robin's birthday by Maddie. They're just perfect. And she was so lovely through every stage of making the order and so understanding of the fact that we were struggling with parents not getting back to us about whether or not their small people would be coming to the party and how many we needed. And she's just incredible. Her originals have plastic safety eyes on, but as you can see here, this little boo has, well, all of them have embroidered eyes. That's because some of our little guests are as young as 18 months. And so we decided to be on the safe side to have embroidered. You can see their little hands. Ooh, ooh. So I have a host of little ghosts in this box. So 8 little ghosts for Robin and his friends, and they will be the party favours for this week's party. Very, very exciting. Right, and I just love how thoughtful she was, popping in these little stickers, one, like 2 for each child. So they will go in their goodie bags, which I will talk about shortly. And also, because she is extra lovely, and we are friends, been friends for a while, and her friendship means so much to me. There we go. One of her little triangular notions pouches as well, which I handmade. She's a fab sewist. She said they could be for stitch markers or perhaps individually wrapped chocolates. I feel like every girl needs, or every maker, girl or boy or intersex or whatever it is, I think every person needs a little individual chocolate pouch in their project bag. So if you find yourself in the market for some beautiful handmade amigurumi or project bags or things like that, do check out Maddie's website. I think it's back up now. I didn't actually order through the website. I dropped her a message and said, I love your ghost, can I order some? But I will put the link below, or if I forget, Maddie, put the link in the comments for me. I'm going to mention you. I've worked out how to mention people on YouTube now, but I'm still a bit hit and miss with my show notes, as it were. So do feel free to put your link in the comments below, Maddie. But yeah, that's wonderful. And that brings me to what I'm planning this week. This week is bonkers. I have got to fashion a ghost costume for Halloween for my son, who suddenly decided that he is into Halloween. I mean, he was last year, but that he's suddenly got the concept of it all, and he wants to dress up as a ghost and he wants to go trick-or-treating. And he's got a ticket to a little community kiddies disco on Thursday in the morning. So he's going for a spooky disco. So I've got to make a ghost costume. I'm just going to do a pillowcase. I'm not going to do anything special. Having said that, the only pillowcases that were white they had in Sainsbury's today were 400 count Egyptian cotton, were £14 each. Just no thank you, I'm not paying £14 to chop some holes in a pillowcase. So I need to have a little look round. So I need to do that. The goodie bags for Robin's party, I'm actually going to be using some fabric to sew them. So I'm going to be making those this week, just little bags, nothing too special, just little party bags for the ghosts to go in. And also they need to be able to fit the cake in as well that they're going to have. So there's that to do. There's the cake to make. Robin would like a ghost cake, so I'm going to try my hand at, I mean, I've done various cakes in the past. If I can find some pictures, I'll show you now some of the ones I've done before. My mum's very talented at cake decorating and taught me some stuff before she got too sick and I moved away. She's got Parkinson's disease, so she hasn't got that, the fine motor skills aren't really there anymore. And to be fair, it went quite a while ago. But she did teach me some things and I learnt a lot through watching her. So yeah, but anyway, my plan is to stack sponge cakes. I need to get some dowels, some cake safe dowels. I think I need to go to unless I can find an independent cake making shop locally, which would be ideal. But otherwise I'll go to Hummingcraft and get some dowels. I need to get some white fondant sugar paste. And my plan is to build this cake up, do a quick crumb coat. I don't like marzipan. I'm not going to do marzipan. So I'm going to shave it to the kind of similar to the mini boo. But I'm going to drape it And I'm also hoping it'll have little arms, little ghosty sheety arms. So I'm going to try that moulding marshmallow Rice Krispie concoction that you see on Bake Off sometimes, which I've never done before. So I'm going to try that. So I've got party bags to make, a ghost costume to make, a birthday cake to make. I've got Jude's socks to finish. I've got a gift for my boss's grandson, who is turning 3 on the same day as Robin, that I need to finish, but I need my 3.5mm needles for that, so I'm getting really stressed about that. I've got teacher training stuff to do. I've got some leftover apples from Great Auntie and Uncle, and I'm going to need to get those made up into a chutney this week. And in amongst it all, I'm going to start decorating the house. The house is lovely. We were so lucky with this house. My in-laws went and looked at houses for us in person. So although I say in the intro a house we hadn't even seen, well, we hadn't seen it. We'd seen a little bit of very poor quality video on the tour on a WhatsApp call because the signal is so patchy. So we saw just a little bit of it, had no real idea, plus had so much house blindness by that point, I couldn't actually remember which one we were buying. But as I said, my father-in-law is a builder, so he came and kicked the tyres and they checked it and they know the area and everything. So it wasn't completely blind, just mostly. But the one problem we've got is the previous owner was a heavy smoker, and everything is nicotine yellow. Everything's coated in it. And I think I'm getting a little bit fed up of the kind of constant musky smell if we don't have the windows open all the time. It's held on, it's kind of seeped into the wallpaper and into the carpets. And we have been cleaning, of course we have, but I think really the only thing for it is to get the paintbrushes out and start painting. So apparently that's also on my list of things to do this week. Oh yeah, and as if I could forget, I have my final ever advent calendar to dye. I had one available, and someone messaged me to say, look, I know you're packing up dyeing, but could it be possible for you to dye an advent calendar for me? And so I said yes. I had the minis, so I didn't mind doing that. She's a good friend of mine as well as a lovely customer, so that was not a problem. So I've got to dye that this week as well. God knows when I'm going to find the time to do that. And I've got a custom dye order as well before I shut up shop. Speaking of hand-dyed yarns, if you were in the market for anything that I've got, do keep an eye out, because on Instagram I will be sharing my final hand-dyed yarns that I have. Mina, my friend, the knitting expat, still has them at her house, the last few batches that were for kits for her patterns. So I will be sharing those. And yeah, inviting them to be sold, ideally, inviting them to be sold. So yeah, watch out for that. I hope you are having a lovely October. If you celebrate Halloween, I'd love to hear what you're dressing up as, or what your small humans are dressing up as, or if you're beyond dressing up now, what was the best dressing up you did, or if that's not something you celebrate, then fine. Are we looking forward to autumnal walks, fireworks night, any of that? Do let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.